This video is a continuation to the United States flag being a holy flag and a war flag, a holy war flag. This is the coat of arms of New York State. This is the logo for New York State. If you see a state police car, this emblem is on the side of it. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it represents. This is the goddess that is known as Themis. And Themis goes back to a 4,000-year-old cult called the Cult of Themis. I'm going to start in the very middle, and what we're going to look at is the shield. Now, what this is the protective shield of the Egyptians. God gave the covenant of the land of milk and honey to the Egyptians. He took it away from Israel for disobeying his law. He also reinstated the power of the Egyptians, put them in control of providences around the world. So what that is the shield, the protection of the Egyptians. The shield, all right, now if you know about the Bible describes God as having the continents of the sun, the continents being the face of the sun. So that is God the Father, that is Zeus or Adonai. Then you see that mountain there. What that mountain represents is Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus, you know as the Olympians from the previous video of the American flag. So then you got Zeus standing over Mount Olympus. And then you see the ships going in different directions. What that represents is commerce. And if you know that the god Hermes is commerce, Hermes by day is known as Apollo. By the evening, he's known as Hermes. So there's Council of 9 members. That's what it represents. The protective shield of commerce is what gives the Egyptians power. Okay, that's what puts them in control. The need for them to have the enforcement. And I'll explain the Egyptians and who they are and where they are in another video. Now we're going over to the right. What you see on the right is the goddess Themis. Okay, Themis is the goddess. She's also known as Horea, Horea. And if you read about her, she is the goddess of women and childbirth. Goddess of women and childbirth. And if you look at Hera and if you look at the hand gestures, you see how she's holding up the sword and she's also holding up the scales of justice. Well, Hera has the exact same symbolism in her hands, the way she holds it, because she is Hera, and that is a Council of 9 member. With the sword in the upright position, that represents an act of war, just like the cavalry charging in. They put their swords up, charge. When you see the scales of justice and she's got a blindfold on, well, the blindfold represents that, she's not interested in seeing the truth. You could put a dead body on the scales. You could put money on the scales. Whatever weighs the scales down, that's the way she's going to decide, because that's what she is. Hera, it's the cult of Themis. It's a 4,000-year-old occult. It's a Luciferian satanic occult. Okay, so you look over now. Remember, Hera is the goddess of women and childbirth. Now you go over to the other side. This goddess is Demeter. Well, how do you know that it's Demeter? Well, you look to the right and she's holding up a cornucopia. Cornucopia used to be, you would see a cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom logo. That's the one that disappeared in the Mandela effect. Well, the cornucopia represents the goat's horn. And if you know about Satan, Satan is represented with the goat's horn, and that's what it represents. Now, Demeter goes by many names in many mythologies. She's known as Callisto. Read the story about her. Callisto, she's also known as, she's Isis. And Isis, after Isis was raped, she became Hathor the whore. She's also known as Aphrodite. As well as on the other side, that's one that I did skip, where you're looking at Hera. Hera is known as Venus, okay? And then go over to the other side. She's known, Demeter is another name for Isis, which is Aphrodite, which is Hathor the whore. And she's also known by the goddess Callisto, and I'm going to go on to Lamia. Lamia, read about her. She's the child-eating demon. And that's where you see, when it comes about and you hear about Epstein Island and you hear about the child sex trafficking, well, it goes through these two. You see, to the left to the right, Hera is the goddess of women and childbirth, and to the left, you're looking at Lamia, and she is the child-eating demon. That's what it's all about. That's what the child sex trafficking is all about. And then you see, again, you have the Assyrians atop of the world, and you go down to Excelsior. That means that you're going to take it to another level, a new level of punishment, just like in the American flag. When you see these flags in the courtroom, of course, they have tassels on it. Tassels indicate that they're holy flags, and you need to remember every time that you go into a courtroom, all the symbolism that you've seen have deep meaning. It's not just there by chance. And again, symbolism is holy and mystical designs. Holy meaning aligned with the religious practice, and also mystical meaning that it gives off magic. What the magic is blinding to the children of Israel's eyes. And that is the meaning of New York State's logo.